Welcome back to Good Day State Line. Thomas Fellows is joining us tonight. We're going to talk about his book, Mrs. Du Bois' Last Wish. Hi, Thomas.
Yes. Hey, how are you doing?
I'm good. So before we get to this book, this is not your first book. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes, I am originally from Atlanta, Georgia. I live in Houston, Texas now. In addition to writing books, I'm also in technology sales.
So what has drawn you to become an author, and why do you think it's so important to write books like this, which is different?
I would say not only to help people, to help myself.
Mm-hmm.
I explain my faults in many of my books, and you can learn from my faults as well as the things that I occasionally do well. And it's honestly just to help people. And 100% of the profits from this book are going to NAMI for suicide awareness. So it's just to honestly help people.
Well, that's so important, and that's obviously one of the reasons we wanted to talk to you tonight, because NAMI is a great organization. We're always chatting with the Illinois chapter with Danielle. So tell us a little bit about this book specifically and what inspired this one.
Yes, so this book was inspired by two books, To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee and The Road to Character by David Brooks. And in To Kill a Mockingbird, there's a little known character named Mrs. Du Bois, and she suffers on purpose to rid herself of a morphine addiction. And she gets Atticus to get his son Jim to read to her to distract her from the pain she's going through from the morphine withdrawal. And then there's David Brooks, who writes in The Road to Character, we shoot for happiness, but we're formed through suffering. He also says recovering from suffering is different from recovering from disease. You don't come out healed, you come out different.
I like that. I think that's a lot of what NAMI stands by. Danielle, who is the woman we talk to a lot, she loves to talk about how mental health is, everyone has mental health, and we all need to be, dealing with mental health. It's not something that just some people deal with on certain levels. And I think that's kind of a great reason why maybe everyone wants to read this book instead of people who walk by it and think, oh, maybe that has something to do with me. Maybe it has something to do with everyone.
Well, it's important to know that the more pain you go through, the more empathy you have. And the more empathy you have, the better off you're able to read people. So I'm also in technology sales, like I said, and I could make 7 figures this year working just 15 hours a week because my mentor, Bill McDermott, who's the CEO of ServiceNow, taught me how to sell with empathy. And the guy literally came from poverty and made $63 million in 2019, $25 million in 2020. And he taught me that nice guys don't finish last, they finish first. Do you ever listen to Dave Matthews by any chance?
Oh yeah, I've heard some Dave Matthews.
Yeah, so there's a song called Mercy. And in that song he says, love is not a whisper of weakness, no, love is strong. And that is so true.
So this book, I flipped through it. I didn't read the whole thing yet because we are going to give it away, but I flipped through it a little bit. What do you think, we will get out of this book when we finish it?
I would say there's a quote from Viktor Frankl, which basically says you ultimately have the freedom, how to decide when you go through tough times, how you're going to respond. And he says forces beyond your control can take away everything you possess except for one thing, your freedom to choose how you respond to the situation. You cannot control what happens to you, but you can control how you feel and do about what happens to you. And that's something your viewers can appreciate.
Absolutely. So again, like we said, 100% of the proceeds go to NAMI. Thomas, where can we get our hands on this book?
Barnes & Noble and Amazon.
Awesome. And where can we get information or check in with you?
thfellows.com.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, Thomas.
Yes, thanks for having me.
And we have your chance, like I said, to win this autographed copy from Thomas. Enter to win now at GoodDayStateline.com. Coming up next, we are taking you to meet the 4 men behind Urban Intellectuals 815. And then, it's Auto Week, so we're making sidecars with the Q98.5 on Spirit Day. We'll be right back.